Okay, so today we're looking at an Ariens snowblower that stopped driving forward, basically. I think it's the friction wheel. So we're gonna open this thing up and take a peek. I might be able to do an adjustment on it, but I have a feeling with the age it's going to be in need of replacement. So I took the gas tank off so that way it doesn't leak all over the place. It potentially could leak some oil, but we're going to live with it. So let's see. Looks like we got this one's not attached. Another one there, just gonna get a stubby socket. Let's see if this guy fits. It's not that, it's this plastic gear. Why would they make this out of plastic? Friction wheel. Looks okay. And there's all pieces of gear. So we're gonna have to get this out, this axle. So I think the first thing we're going to do is the good news is this is all looped, so I think this whole axle needs to come out. So I'm going to pop the pins, and the good news is this is all pretty loose. I might have lied. This one's going to need a little cleanup. Tappy tappy. There we go. We're going to have to grease these way up on here. Put these back on. Alright, so lovely. So this thing has a couple pins that need to be popped out. These bolts have to come off. We'll take this out. We'll leave this with the wheels. Alright, so let's see if we can get these bolts out that are here. Hopefully you can see that. Bring it in so you can see it. There's two of these, one on either side. So I'm gonna, oh well, it's just one big bolt. This must be a shear bolt. It kind of looks like it. So we'll take that guy off. Hopefully we can get it from this side. And then there's a pin there. I'm assuming there's one on the other side. We gotta tap those out. So I used the drill bit to push this out. And of course, I just lost it. So what I did in the end to get this out is I got a drill bit that just fit on the end. You should really have a punch to do this, but I didn't have one handy. Just make sure if you do this with something like a drill bit, use a crappy old one, and make sure it fits on the top of it, but it's not going to get jammed in the hole, because if it gets jammed in the hole and it snaps, you're pretty much, you know, in big trouble. Okay. So now I have to figure out. I'm assuming this will push out this way. And we're going to loop this guy back up. That goes in. Okay, so pull this guy out of the way. And we're going to drop on the inside here. This was like this, so we gotta make sure we put that back in that way. So we'll put these with the wheels. I'm gonna actually take this whole shaft out if it'll come. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean this all off and then lube it up really good. So, it's about as far as we can go with it for today. We need to get a replacement gear. Hopefully they make a metal one. You can see all the teeth are gone. Probably should double check. And the pin side is smaller, so the pin side goes to this side. So yeah, I'm going to try to find a replacement one of these, and we'll go from there. So we got the new part. You can see how much the teeth were gone, so it makes sense. I did find a Murray one that was made out of metal, but I was afraid that if I replace this with metal, it might cause more damage than I would want it to. And I think it was the same exact one. This is 48 teeth. It looked pretty much the same, so if this thing fails again, I think I'll go for that one in the future. But I don't know. This original one, you can see how much it wore down. I mean, that was something like 15 years of use or something. This thing's pretty old. So, in a second, we're going to put this thing back up and put this all together. Okay, so, clean the shaft up. I just took a wire wheel to it, so it's pretty clean. So, let's see. We're going to have to put this in the right order. So one of these goes on the outside. This one had an extra one on this side, so I have to figure that out. So this one goes on this side. I want to get a little bit of grease. This should be fun. I'm going to grease these bushings. I'm sure it's all going to squish out when I put the thing in. We'll see if we can get a little bit in there. But there was an extra washer on this side. So I'm going to have to, I think it was just another spacer. I think it was in here. But I found it just sitting down here at the end, so not the end of the world, but we'll see if we can figure out where it needs to go as we put this together. So we got, on the wheels, you need one on each one. We're going to grease up the wheels too before we put them on. But one of them goes on the inside here. And the other one, it's a little bit of a question. So you got to remember the small one, the smaller hole goes to this side. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this one on. If we can get it on. This guy is a little tight around the edges, but we're just going to live with it. So we need to get this guy in there. Like I say, I almost think it's two spacers in here. I think that's how it goes. So this should be fun. So now the question is, how do I get this in and the big spacers? Let's go that way. Hopefully you can see some of this, but I'm just putting the two washers back there. I might need to do this, give this a little tappy. So we gotta figure out where that hole is. So this hole has to get to this. Just gets stuck on that little edge. It doesn't really look rusty to me. And now I'm sitting here wondering. Oh, I know what it is. Yeah. I'm sitting here wondering why this washer's here. It's because it goes here. But I just need to get this lined up. I'm going to put the this guy through. That's the other thing. I think this is a shear bolt. It surely looks like it. Shear pin. whatever you want to call it. So I mean, really, if this was metal, unless it was rusted to the shaft, the shear bolt would break. So I don't understand. I guess what I'm trying to say is I probably should have just gone with whatever, 7/16. Just need to snug this guy down. The shear pin maybe shouldn't be, you probably should put a new nut on it if you were to do this 100% correctly, because they do lock on, but I am not going to worry about any of that. Might as well grease up this pin a little bit. Maybe make it a little easier tapping it in. Still haven't found my punch set, so there's that. So we're just going to use an extension, I think, to tap this in. So let's just pop that guy in. Almost there. So that guy's in. It'll be fun to get out next time because I didn't have the right tools. But yeah, it's got a little bit of play side to side. I'm still pretty convinced that that was supposed to go on that side because it doesn't really matter. It still engages. I definitely remember one on this side, so yes, that's good. It only has a little bit of chew on the edge. This is what I thought was failed originally, but it seems alright. Everything's nice and smooth, so. Alright, so what's next? Wheels? Cover? Cover, I guess. So this cover's got a little bend over here, so let's see if I can straighten that guy out. Tells me somebody was in here in the past. I wonder what they replaced. Is it the same thing? Do not know. Wasn't me. I can tell you that much. You can see the pieces of the gear. So let me go dump that off real quick. And I'm not worried about cleaning this up because it doesn't actually matter. It's just going to get dirty again. Loosen that up a little bit. 10 millimeter, maybe. Yep. Give it to it. I'm going to put the other two on there. think these are actually 10 millimeter. I think they're slightly smaller than that, but it's working. You really don't have to tighten these ones down, it just hooks into it, but I'm going to bring it back a little bit because that loosens them up a little. I don't want them to fall out while it's being used. Good enough. Alright, so I'm going to put the wheels on. I'm going to toss this old one. Let me put a little bit more grease. I'm going to grease these guys up pretty good because if we have to take the wheels off again, it would be nice if they came off easy. Squish a little bit into those bushings over here. I'm going to put a little bit into these upper bushings too. I know I'm not going to get much in doing it this way, but it's not like they have a grease fitting, so anything's better than nothing. Alright. And wheels. So these guys have a washer too. Line up the hole. Put the pin on. See if you can see this one. These definitely were greased at some point. So we'll pop this guy on. Actually, I think we're going to go, I think I'm going to move the other in. There's 2 slots on these. I'm going to go to the inside one. That's probably where they're supposed to be. I didn't pay attention. Let's find out. That on. Bring this guy over. Should be good enough. Oh, leaking a little bit of gas. Tilting it. So these guys are 3/8. Would help if you were looking at it. So these 2 guys are 3/8, which means the other ones definitely aren't 10 millimeters, but it worked well enough for what I was doing. Alright, so let's go try it out and see how it works. Works fine. I'm just going to do a quick oil change on it because it looks pretty dirty. Just wanted to burn the gas out of it just in case it sits for a little while. But yeah, there you go. Fixed. Ready to keep doing what it does. Hopefully it gets a few more years out of it. Alright, so that's that. I'll see you in the next one.